Hi there, this is Anais Smith. Welcome to my channel on family law and mediation and related matters. Today, I want to talk about guardianship, but specifically relating to the best interest of the child. So, usually we talk about parental rights and responsibilities. So, that is basically your right to access to your child and also the responsibility to take care of the child. Guardianship is different in the sense that you as a guardian of the child can make major decisions like taking the child out of the country, maybe signing on behalf of the child to acquire property, um, things like that. So guardianship comes into play obviously when there are major decisions that needs to be made, but also in cases where the child is maybe living with somebody else due to some unforeseen circumstances that the parents can't take care of the child, and then that will be the best interest of the child will be taken into consideration. So guardianship will be taken away if a parent is withholding his consent unreasonably. So that is situations where the child maybe lives with the mother and child wants to go overseas because she's a very good swimmer, but now the father doesn't want to give his consent. So then then the parent can approach the court, and then the court will give sole guardianship to the mother, for example, if it finds that the father is being unreasonable, to enable her to take the child out of the country so that she can attend her swimming gala. So, what are um, the guidelines that the court will consider when dealing with the best interest of the child? Well, firstly, the court will look at the love, affection, and other emotional ties that exist between a parent and a child, and the parent's compatibility with the child. The court will look at the capabilities, the character, and the temperament of the parent, and the impact thereof on the child's needs and desires. If a child, for example, is so manipulative that uh, the parent can't give proper guidance, the court will also take that into consideration. So if the child is then, if a guardian like a grandparent will be a better option, then the court will take that into consideration if the child has a good relationship with that grandparent or a aunt or uncle, somebody. So then the court will also look at the capacity and disposition of the parent to give a child guidance. So these situations usually come into play mostly with boys. So they are very happy with mom staying there for a while, and then as soon as the teenage stage kicks in, they become rebellious. You can't uncontrollable. So then, in those instances, the child will go and live with the father, for example, so the father can give him better guidance and support. Obviously, it's not because there's anything wrong with the mother or because she's a bad mother. It's just that it's better for the child to go and stay with the male parent at that point in time. A lot of times people are concerned about the finances, and I get clients saying, but yes, the father is so wealthy and he's going to steamroller her, etc., etc. So that doesn't matter. The fact is, um, you need to look at the child's basic physical needs, the so-called creature comforts. That is for food, clothing, housing, and other material needs. Generally speaking, the provision of economic security. So that doesn't have to be your labels, like your Nike and your Adidas and whatever's hot at the moment. It basically has to be the basic needs. So if a parent can provide that together with love and security, and the child is able to connect with that parent better, it will obviously be in the child's best interest to stay with that person. Then the court will also look at the ability of the parent to provide for the educational well-being and security of the child, both religious and secular. The the court will look at the ability of the parent to provide for the child's emotional, psychological, cultural, and environmental development. So this entails that sometimes if a child has problems, then um, and there is money needed for psychological treatment, the court will take that into consideration. Also, if a child stays with the grandparents, for example, um, in their cultural and environmental circumstances that is conducive to the child's development, the court will take that into consideration, as it will be better for for a Zulu child, for example, to grow up amongst his or her Zulu siblings, um, especially if the child is very young. Obviously, if the child has grown up in the city and not used to that, not being exposed to that kind of environment, then it won't affect the child. The court will then also look at the mental and physical health and moral fitness of the parent. Um, Obviously, if the parent is sickly and they can't take care of the child, it's not in their best interest for a child to live there. Even if the child and the parent have an emotional, strong bond, but the parent is just incapable of taking care of the child, then it will be in the child's best interest to maybe move to another guardian, a family member or uncle, aunt that can take care of the child. And then obviously allow that child to still have access and contact with the parent to maintain that relationship. Then there's a bit of a sticky point, and that is the one of keeping siblings together. So the reasoning behind keeping siblings together is because in situations where the family structure is disturbed, siblings usually bond very close with each other. So the court tries and keeps them together because of that bond that they have. Uh, Siblings will only be split in situations where the children as a family unit need care, but it's obviously the financial burden is too much for one person, one guardian to take all the children. So in cases like that, they will take the ages into consideration and then they might split the siblings. Or in situations where the there is abuse between the siblings, then obviously they will be split up because it's in their best interest. And in some cases, especially when there are siblings, boys and girls, the girl might want to stay with the mother and the boy might want to stay with the father once they reach a certain age. So the court will also take that into consideration. Um, this is just a basic guideline. There are many other things that the court might take into consideration um, to determine what is in the best interest of the child. If a child is old enough to express his or her feelings, then they will, the court can order that there be a interview held with the child, with a psychologist or a social worker. And then in contentious matters where the children are much older, the court can actually call a child to come and testify, obviously in a closed court, um, regarding the relationship with the child, with the parent and siblings, and so on and so forth. I hope this was helpful. Kindly like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, just put it in the comment box or go into my Facebook page and send me a message. Until next time, bye bye.